Hey guys, November 1 Sierra here, and today I'm going to be doing the review of the EMG Colt licensed M4 SOPMOD Block 2 with the Daniel defense rail. I own the MK18 Mod 1 version of this gun, and I absolutely love it, so I had to get my hands on the Block 2 version. So let's hop into this review. So hopping into this review here, you can see we have the Colt blue box here by Cybergun. Going to go ahead and open it up, and on the top here we have some foam padding, which is always nice. Not all guns come with that. We're going to go ahead and remove it, and we have the gun itself. Here we have a Colt card, basically just saying that it is licensed by Colt. Set it off to the side there. We have a TWS high cap magazine. This is a King Arms OEM magazine, and then we have the gun itself. So let's hop further into this gun. So before we go any further in this, I just wanted to pause right here and just say I have removed the stock off of this gun, and the reason is it's not an actual Magpul stock, it's an off-brand. I think it's EMG's own version, and it is absolutely just horrifying to use. You have to use pliers just to remove it off the buffer tube. But if anyone's wondering how to get to the battery compartment with that stock, it's just like any M4 SOPMOD battery compartment in the stock. You just push the two clips on the sides and pull off the back pad, and you're in the battery compartment. Just so everyone is aware how to get into the battery compartment. Otherwise, I did replace it with a Magpul MOE stock just because those are just a lot simpler to use. So starting off, you have your orange flash hider that comes standard with every gun. You have a dark earth Daniel defense rail. You have your Colt trades. You have some more Colt trades here as well. You have a select fire switch. Your hand grip is plastic. And then you have your standard 3 positioning stock. Moving to the other side here, you do have your iron sights, which I forgot to mention. You have your mag release button, and to reveal your hop up, you pull back the charging handle, which has a functioning bolt catch. Sometimes the dust cover gets caught. It doesn't always flip up or stay up, so just be wary of that. So hopping into one of the most important things of a review, that is the mag compatibility test. I cannot tell you how many times I have bought a new gun and I have wondered which magazines are going to fit for it and which ones are not. So let's give these magazines a shot. So starting off, we're going to start off with the King's Arms 180 mid cap. Goes in just fine, clicks in. Upon release, it does just come right out. Overall will feed. Next, we are moving to the Avengers M4 magazine. Putting it in, clicks in just fine, drops right out of the gun with no problem. Overall will feed. So here we're going to try the mid cap that came with the MCX. Going to go ahead and push it in, goes in just fine, comes out just fine upon release. Overall will feed. Here we have the G&G mid cap. Upon putting in, clicks in just fine, no wobble. Upon release, comes right out. Overall will feed. Now we're going to try the Dytac Hexagon mech. Goes in just fine, little to no wobble. Upon release, has a little trouble, needs assistance, otherwise though will feed. Moving into the SEMA high cap. Goes in just fine. Upon release, falls right out. Will feed. And always our favorites, the KWA 120s. Upon putting in, clicks in just fine, little to no wobble, falls right out upon release, will feed. Next up, we have the EPM PTS magazines. Going in, goes in just fine, upon release, drops right out of the gun, will feed. We have the Magpul PMag. Upon putting in the gun, clicks in just fine. Upon release, falls right out, will feed. Now it's time to head over to the range. I will be using 0.25 gram BBs by Elite Force biodegradable. So let's go find out what the FPS is on this thing. So as you guys could see there, we were in the 340 to 343 zone pretty consistently. It did jump up to 361 at one point. And then when I went full auto and did the few burst fires, it did go to 335 pretty consistently. But overall, that puts you at about 1.34 joules to 1.35 joules in semi. So your average, again, is going to be about 340 to 343. So breaking down the internals, you have an inline MOSFET, 8mm bearing gearbox with a quick change spring system, a high torque motor, a CNC high strength gears, full steel rack piston, and a one-piece metal hop-up. So looking at your externals here, the only plastic things on this gun are your hand grip and your stock. Everything else is full metal. You have a metal lower receiver, a metal upper receiver, a metal handguard, metal outer barrel, everything, the bolt catch, the mag release, the select fire switch, it is all metal. Like I said, again, the only two pieces of plastic you have on this gun are going to be your hand grip and your stock. Now I want to talk to you guys about rail colors because it seems to vary with these guns. So the Block 2 that I have here is the exact same model as the MK18 Mod 1 that I've had for 3 years. I absolutely love it, which is why I had to get the Block 2. As you can see, the rail colors are slightly different. On the Block 2, it's a little lighter. On my Mark 18, it's a little darker. Now, that's not bad. That's not terrible. I did do a review on a Helios Block 2 where the rail was actually gold, and it was just terrible. So the rail color is not bad. It's not perfect, but it's definitely not bad. I would rather take this rail color than the one that I had on the previous. But that kind of leads me to the confusion as to why all these rails are inconsistent with their colors. So just kind of be wary when you're ordering this that your rail color seems to vary. Your MK18 so far, from what I've seen, is going to have a darker rail. Your Block 2 has a little bit of a lighter rail when it comes to the EMG Colt licensed M4. Just keep that in mind. So the reason I picked up the Block 2 version was because I have the Mark 18 9.5 inch version of this gun, which is just basically the shorter version, and it has not failed me in 3 years. So I picked up the Block 2 because I just like the way the Block 2 works. It's going to work for my MARSOC reenactment that I am doing. And yeah, straight out of the box, you're wired to Deans. So that's a huge plus. I run 11.1s in these things and have had zero issues. And for $350, I would totally say it's worth the price. I mean, if you guys can get it now. We have been seeing airsoft gun prices on the rise. Helios SR16, for instance, was $205. Now it's $265. So if you guys can pick this up right now for $350, I say do it. So yeah, guys, the EMG Colt licensed Block 2 here, I think is a great gun, and based off the Mark 18, which is just basically the shorter version of the gun I've been using for 3 years, I think it's a reliable gun. It's wired to Dean straight out of the box, which is what most everyone asks for. So I think that's great. If you got $350, guys, and you guys are looking for a good Block 2 or a Mark 18, definitely check these guns out. I don't know when the Mark 18 will be back in stock. With that being said, this Block 2 has the spec that it should when it comes to the outer barrel. And what I mean by that is the Helios that I had that's on screen now, the outer barrel ended right where the rail ended. That's not a block 2. That's not true spec to a block 2. The block 2 outer barrel comes out to another, I believe, ½ inch to an inch. So there's a little bit of a gap for suppressor. There's a little bit of outer barrel that will show. So it is true to that spec. So if you're into reenactment, Green Berets, MARSOC, Ranger guys out there that are doing that reenactment, this gun I think will be amazing and great and right on par for what you guys are looking for without breaking the bank. But with my reputation ushering me, if some of you have been following me on social media, you guys know what I mean by that. Take it with a grain of salt. But overall, guys, I think this gun is absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to use it at Desert Fox events, Battle for Los Angeles, March 4th through the 6th, 2022. I will be filming, so there will be more content and gameplay for the channel. But until then, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will try to get back to your comments as soon as I can. I know you guys ask a lot of questions. I'm trying very hard to be on top of those questions. Sometimes I have been missing them. Work and life have just been kind of crazy during the holidays, but I will try to get back to everyone. And with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in, and November 1, Sierra out.